One more of those deep breaths together. Breathe in. And let go. So good morning again. And so, this year we're living in this theme for 2023 of living out loud, which has been a good one so far. We started off the year in January with this idea of root and reboot. We dropped into the idea of remembering our core principles. What is the base of this philosophy? What are we all here about? To remember there's only one thing. I call it God. You might call it consciousness, energy, the universe. I don't care what you call it. There's one thing. The universe is one seamless place, and we are emerging from it. That's where we're starting. Then in February, we talked about curiosity as a superpower. That in order to live out loud, in order to be the people we're meant to be, in order to do the spiritual work we need to do, in order to evolve and take the next steps into who we're becoming, we've got to be curious. We have to be willing to ask the questions, to not just stand in the way of ourselves, but be curious about our beliefs, be curious about each other, be curious about our community, and about what life is trying to reveal to us. From curiosity, we then move to authenticity. We said that in order for each one of us to bring that divine essence into the world, we have to cultivate the truth of who we are. We've got to be willing to get out of our own way, let go of those old beliefs, stop holding ourselves back out of fear of judgment or whatever it is, and to let the true authenticity of who we are shine through. And we talked a lot about cultivating that authenticity as a community, about creating safe space for each other to be able to bring that essence forward. And then from there, this month, all month, we've been talking about vulnerability, which has been all about creating that safe space for the authenticity so that we can be curious, so that we can remember that there's a divine essence within all of us, right? So we're going to take a little break from vulnerability. I think we've chewed on that one enough. Some of us spent the month going, And periodically throughout the year, we like to break from the theme and just take an opportunity to honor the shifting and the changing of the seasons around us, and to look for the metaphors and the truths that are here in nature, that are here in the world, that there's always this opportunity for us to remember the deeper truths about the nature of existence when we look to it outside of ourselves. Right? And so throughout the year, we take every once in a while, we take a Sunday to drop into more of a deeper ritual space, to drop into some intention setting, and to open up that vortex of community that when we all come together and focus on the same thing at the same time, when we bring our intentions together, there's this magnification and multiplication of what's possible. Right? So I want us to just first recognize that today, this weekend, is what some would call Mayday or Beltane or High Spring. There's lots of names for this time of year. But really, this is the high point in spring. The equinox takes us all the way up and over. But this point is like spring is in full swing. And I don't know if anybody else had this feeling that winter just went on a little bit too long this year. And it was like March 20th came around, and it was spring, and it was still dark and cold and wet. And it was like, this does not feel like spring. But now we're here, right? And the sun is shining, the things are blooming, the birds are chirping, life is in session. And there's an opportunity for us to look out into the world and to see the abundance, the fullness, the possibility that comes with springtime, as a reminder that everything necessary for life to flourish is available. It's all about planting the seeds in the right conditions at the right time so that they can flourish in the way that they're meant to. And I want all of us to take that into ourselves and recognize that we can also do that within our own consciousness and within our community. That we can decide that this time of year is a time for us to plant seeds. It's a time for us to invoke our intentions. It's a time for us to claim our deep prayer, purpose, and desire for ourselves, our community, and the world. And then to recognize that when we plant those in consciousness, when we weave those thoughts, those dreams, those visions together as a community, it's like planting them in the ground. And this community is the fertile soil that allows those seeds to grow as we come into this place and be vulnerable and authentic and go deep with each other. Something opens, and the power of growth, the power of possibility is activated. And so when we go out back today, as we come together as a community, we're going to be weaving the strands around the maypole, bringing all of our intentions together. Each one of us recognizing that as I bring my uniqueness, as you bring your uniqueness, as each one of us reveals our authenticity, our gifts, and our talents, that we become something so much more as a community, woven together, supporting each other in a way that we can't be by ourselves, right? It's that whole thing, one strand is easily broken, but a braid is stronger because it's woven together, and the strength is there because we're supporting each other in that place. How many folks participated in any portion of the Synthesis Symposium this weekend? There was a bunch of us here. We had a great time. Yesterday, yes, it was real good. So yesterday, the group did a process where we looked out into the timeline and said, there's an infinite number of possible futures in front of us from this axis point we're standing on humanity, this time and space in human history. There's a whole bunch of futures out there. A lot of them look a little bit interesting. And so we decided to weave our way down the timeline and all the different choice points and just sought to find ourselves somewhere out in the future in a world where we turned this ship around. And we saw the regeneration, we saw the possibility, we saw the healing, we saw humanity coming together, and we went on a journey to 2073. And we took a look around the world. We came back to this place and explored what was here. And one of the things that showed up for me in all of what we harvested in that journey yesterday was that it was the inner work that each person has to do to clean ourselves up, to undo all the tangles and ick and all the darkness and anger and fear and all that stuff. And then when we are the people who do the healing for ourselves, when we then come together, there's this inspiration and this passion and this excitement to do that for each other. And then we get to live as an example and show other people what's possible when they awaken to themselves, when they awaken that soul spark, when they find their purpose, when they find their passion. And that the vision that we came to is that if each and every person found their passion, found their purpose, found their spark, there's 8 billion of us on the planet, 8 billion projects, 8 billion passions, 8 billion purposes. I'm pretty sure we could clean this thing up in no time. You know, I have this belief that there's enough of us now that if everyone just did what they were most passionate about, we would hit every single problem. We would hit every single issue. Because some of us are passionate about planting food. Some of us are passionate about healing people. Some of us are passionate about social justice. Some of us are passionate about the environment. Some of us are passionate about keep going. 8 billion problems, 8 billion issues, 8 billion solutions. And there's only coming to be more of us, so let's figure out a way to start activating ourselves, activate each other, and that healed people create healed communities, creates a healed world. Yes. Right? And so we do our work, we come together, we weave together, and we continue to build greater and greater and greater change in the world for ourselves, for each other, and for the planet, and for all of life. Because this planet is not just about people, folks. There's a whole bunch of other people who don't look like humans who are here too. And they're animals, and they're plants, and they're rocks, and they're fish, and they're water, and rivers, and all the things. Because the universe is alive. Everything is conscious. Everything is God. Everything is sacred. Yes. 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 I agree. And let's begin to see that. Right? But there's a power in holding intention and holding vision, in holding a possibility. Because one of the things that we all noticed who participated yesterday, and my Chapter 5 synthesis students, we've been in a marathon since Thursday night. There was a point on Friday afternoon where I was like, it's Saturday, right? Nope. There's more. one of the things that we found is that we've been in this deep process, this deep dive, churning, and we were all feeling really tired by just all the energy we've been sharing and all the work we've been doing. And then yesterday we went out to this vision of a possible future where things work out okay, where we do turn it around, where we do wake up, where we do come together. And all of us have been checking in last night and this morning like, I can't tell you how energized and clear I feel. Not tired, not worn out, not exhausted from all this deep work we've been doing, but like awake, alive. I had multiple people walk in this morning like, Elisha, you're glowing. I'm like, I know. and I realized that it's when we have a compelling vision, when we can tap into the possible, it gives us life force. It gives us energy. It gives us power. When we're angry, when we're sad, when we're afraid, when we jump into all that stuff, it takes our energy away from us, right? And that's part of the power of this philosophy that says, look at what you want and look at what you don't want. It's not about ignoring the bad stuff, but it's looking at the solutions. It's looking at what's possible. It's looking at the steps we could take instead of the steps we want to avoid, the things we don't want to do, the things that are going wrong. We focus on the things that are going to give us energy rather than the things that are going to take our energy away, right? And it's just been so visceral for me this weekend of we went into this visualization and had this experience, and suddenly all of us feel like we're filled with light, power, potential, and energy. And then I come into this space and I hear this community singing this morning, and the vibration is like about to blast the roof off the ceiling. It's like, can we do that? That's cool. So what I want to do is just take a few minutes to drop into a little process of inviting each of us to just claim the seed we want to plant for ourselves this spring, and for our community and for the world. And so if you could come up, Shira's going to play the bowls as we just do a little bit of an internal process. Leah and Cheryl, really quickly, there's 2 baskets over here with Post-its. If everyone could get a Post-it, and something to write with. If you don't have, I do have some pens. If one of you could just take either side of the room and pass a Post-it to each row and then just pass those down to the middle. And you're going to have that because we're going to do something with those in just a minute. So just pass those through the room. Everybody just take a deep breath while those are moving through, everyone getting what they need. Take another deep breath in. And let go. And Shira, if you would just begin as we're getting this stuff set out. Once you get what you need, if you can just take a moment, close your eyes and become still while the room is moving to its state of readiness. Once you have what you need, just take a breath and start to become still. And we'll just let the room settle as everyone gets what they need. Megan? And so if everyone would just take a deep breath in. Let go. Another deep breath in. And let go. One more deep breath in. Breathe in. And let go. And so first, I just want to invite each of us to just become still. To take a moment and connect with the rhythm and the flow of your own breath. Remembering that each one of us is being breathed by the universe. You're being breathed by life. It is the breath of the divine that is coursing through us. And so just connect with that. within each one of us there is a still, small voice. As Ernest Holmes would say, a voice that speaks without a tongue. When we get still, when we get quiet, when we connect with our breath, we can listen to that voice within us. And I believe that that voice of Spirit speaks to each one of us through our intuitive sense, through our dreams, through our longings, through our passion, through our intention. And as you become still, just ask into your own mind, what is my greatest dream, my biggest wish for myself, for my community, or for the world? Something beyond what you know how to do with your own capacity, but a dream or a vision that you wish could manifest for you, your community, or the world. What is your deepest intention, your deepest prayer, your greatest wish? And when something comes, I just want you to write that down on your Post-it note. Whatever your intention is, and imagine that this is a seed that you want to plant in the fertile soil of the conscious, collective mind of this community. Knowing that this is not just your intention, but it is our collective intention, and all of this overlap. Each one of us holds a little piece of the puzzle. So write on your Post-it, what is your greatest wish, dream, prayer, or desire? A seed that you want to plant for yourself, for your community, or for the world. And then once you have written something on that Post-it note, I want you to hold it in your hands like it is a precious flame or a precious jewel, something so delicate yet powerful. Imagine that what is in your hand is a seed. Hold that seed. And in your mind's eye, imagine that you are infusing it with all that it needs to know. Given all of the right conditions, giving all the right nutrients, given all the time it needs, just infuse into this seed all of the encoding, all the patterning, all that it needs to know to grow and become what it is meant to be. And then in your own time and when you are ready, and if you are able, I invite each person to just quietly, carefully, and silently stand up and take that seed and walk to one of the walls in this room. And with all the power of your intention, as you stick that Post-it on the wall, imagine that you are planting it into the collective mind of this community. And so just take your time. And when you're ready, silently stand up and go place those intentions into the walls of this building. With all of your intention, with all of your belief in the possible, and plant those seeds into this very space. And try to do this as silently as possible, maintaining the awareness as you plant with intention. And after service today, I invite everyone to just scan these walls before you leave the building and see what's here. And then we'll bring all of these intentions with us into our ritual this afternoon. And so as you come back to your seat, just take another deep breath in. And let go. Take another deep breath. Letting go. One more deep breath in. And so as we breathe together, as we settle back into this place, I just invite each one of us to breathe into the awareness, the remembrance, and the knowing that each one of us is being breathed by something greater than ourselves. That there is indeed one seamless presence that is living and breathing throughout the entirety of the universe, unfolding as everyone, everything, every when, everywhere, all the time, all at once. God and only God. And yet the truth is that each one of us is a place where the allness of possibility funnels itself into actuality through our choice, through our intention, through our attention, through our participation in life the universe is creating through us. And so let us recognize the power that lives within us, the possibilities that are seeking to come through us. And as we do so, remember that we are so much more together than we are individually. That when we bring our intentions together, when we weave together with vulnerability, authenticity, and curiosity, remembering the truth of who we are, we activate the power of the something more. We activate the power of possibility. We activate the power of our collective consciousness. Awakening what is already here, but inviting it to be into our experience. And so I just speak a word of gratitude over all of these intentions for each person here, for this space that we call community. I'm grateful for the opportunity to continuously cycle ever deeper in love with each other, with life. And so let us just take another deep breath in, and surrendering once again to the awareness that we are being breathed by a presence greater than ourselves. Ernest Holmes would remind us that there's a power for good in this universe so much greater than we are, and I remind us that it is who we are. And so let it come through us in everything we do. And with that, I just let it be as it is, and so it is. And so take another deep breath in as I invite Lori and the band up. They're going to take us into a song.